How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. As always, I appreciate you guys tuning in, especially those of you that are subscribed to the channel. As I said in the last video, stuff is getting ready to start kicking off for me. The season is coming up here shortly, first tournament, so I'm just starting to get, everything ready, new line on reels, everything kind of cleaned up, set up the way that I want it, and ready to kick off tournament season. A couple upgrades to the kayak, and I'll show you guys that stuff later. But for this video, this is an unboxing video. It's going to be a little bit different than your usual unboxing because these are lures that are very old, a lot of them, some 40 to 50 plus years old, a lot of 20-year-old lures. These are lures that my dad has had stored for a long time as what he calls his extras. And for those of you that don't know, my dad is a massive lure collector. With his permission, I was able to go through those extras. They are now a part of my lineup. He has a lot, so anything that he had several of, which was almost everything he owned, I was able to take, of course, with his permission. So that's what the unboxing is going to be. It's a lot of them, so I'm going to try to go as fast as I can. I don't want this video to be insanely long, but there is a lot of good lures and some stuff that I would think that some of you guys, if you're like me, would be interested in seeing. So without further ado, let's kick this off. Some are in boxes, some aren't. I've taken a lot out already, but I'm just going to go down the list and just start grabbing them. There is a lot of weird ones, but most of them, you guys, die-hard lure fanatics will know what they are. This one, you won't. This is a, I grabbed it because I'd never seen it before. It is a Fenwick lipless bait. What's really interesting about it is the shape of that lipless bait. You see how narrow and sharp that nose is? That's going to be able to come through grass really well. I also like the color on it. Let's hear, pretty good rattle on it. Not crazy loud, but loud enough. So just a different rattle bait. I thought I'd grab it. Nice little lipless there. That's made by Fenwick, which is not a company that, to my knowledge, makes lures anymore. I think they're only a rod company now, but that's why I grabbed it. Just interesting little lipless bait. For those of you that follow me on Instagram, this is just one that wasn't a part of my dad's collection, but it's in this box. I think there's like 2 or 3 or 4 that I've bought recently that I just threw in this box. Might as well show you guys what they are. That is an LV500. It is a custom color. So Ghost Minnow is the color that you guys is very popular, one of their most popular LV500 colors, but this has the metallic scaling that Lucky Craft does, so they just added that scaling to the Ghost Minnow, so kind of combining two of their most famous colors into one bait. So pretty cool. Another good little lipless addition there. This is a very old Rattle Trap. I wish I kind of would have kept it in the box to show you guys which box it came in. But just a nice crawdad color to get ready for the spring. Again, that's just your typical Rattle Trap bait in a crawdad color. Like I said, my dad had a bunch of them, so grabbed some of the extras that he had. This is an Excalibur Cotton Cordell Super Spot, Jimmy Houston signature. These things are awesome. They go for a pretty good amount of money on eBay, especially this color and this time of year, but not extremely rare, but they are getting harder and harder to find. Just a good little bait, 1/4 ounce, a little crawdad imitation there. This is actually the second one that I own. This is a Lee Sisson popper. Lee Sisson, however you want to pronounce it, one of the greatest lure makers ever. That's his own little balsa popper that he makes. He has awesome paint jobs. They're very light. You're going to have to throw it on a spinning setup, but I haven't thrown my other one yet either because I recently got that one, and obviously it's not top water season yet, but one of the greatest lure makers ever. He worked for Bagley and was Bagley's designer for all their baits and put Bagley on the map. So one of the greatest lure makers ever. I'm going to grab one of his poppers for sure. The guy knows what he's doing. All right, this right here, this is an old Bass Pro Shops XPS. They call it the Mix Shad, and it's basically just a knockoff of a Storm Thin Fin. flat side finesse bait. Throw in the shallows. There's a little Balmer Model A, 0 to 3 feet. You know, something you could burn over the top of the weeds. Nice little shad color there. But, you know, this isn't something that's crazy old. I'm pretty sure you could still find these, but my dad had a bunch of them. And just something you could burn in the shallows, maybe over some spawning flats or over some weed beds. So I grabbed it. Here's an old head and spook. The, you know, nothing crazy old. This is the Rattle and Spook. And the package said that this was from 2008. So not crazy old. You know, everybody knows what a spook is. I do like the color, the black back, the kind of olive gold on the side, and then the chrome belly with the red chin. Just a bait that's going to get bit. He had a ton of extras, so I grabbed it. And then I grabbed one of the, this was when the one knockers were made by Headin. The one knockers were brand new. They just come out with them. So your bone, orange chin, classic color, gotta have it. Another small little bomber. That's a really tiny one, and I think that's 1/8 of an ounce. Just another 0 to 3 footer, real small finesse. Pretty sure they originally built these for crappie. They're crappie crank lineup for them, but anything a crappie eats, a bass is going to eat too. So just a nice little finesse. Got to throw that on spinning gear, and again over some weeds or through some spawning flats. That'll get bit for sure. This is called a Man's S10 Plus, kind of your jerkbait, crankbait hybrid, but it's more this was originally made to be a crankbait. So just a shad profile. It suspends, gets down to 10 to 12 feet, and you know, that's got some wear and tear on it. My dad definitely used it, but I snagged that one up. I like the color scheme on it. You know, just has that old school look and feel to it. Red hook on the front. I think I grabbed another one. He had a bunch of these. Just cool seeing lures that you don't really see anymore. The bill is very thick and durable. It's got kind of a scoop or a cup. You guys can see that. So probably dives, pretty aggressive, gets down deep, and it suspends. So, you know, that reel, you can twitch it and get it to just pause there and suspend under the water, reel, stop, go, and you know, it's just gonna stop there. So get something chasing it, good speed going, and then kill it, and they kind of run into it, kind of forces them to grab it. So just a cool bait. You don't see them anymore really. This one was awesome. He has a bunch of these. This is the Rattle Trap Red Zones. I really like the color. It's got that metallic finish on the scales there, kind of like that bone metallic finish, and then the color is kind of a green with a yellowish bone pearl belly. So just something that's gonna catch a ton of flash. And then for those that don't know what the red zone means, that means it's just gonna suspend. So it's a suspending rattle trap. Again, typical rattle trap rattles in there real loud, gonna have a lot of flash, nice color, and then it's gonna be able to suspend. So wherever you want to get it down to, it's gonna stop and stay there. I like suspending lipless baits, so it's pretty stoked to find that. This is just a Bass Pro Shops, they call it an Uncle Buck lipless, real narrow XPS. You know, real cheap, just something I hadn't seen in a while. Kind of faint rattles, nothing too loud, more of like a finesse lipless bait. Definitely something you're gonna burn with how narrow of a face, and you know, something you could rip through weeds pretty easily, but something I don't have, so I'm gonna grab it. Here's another little bomber. Again, that's a little 1/8 ounce, same thing. I like the color, got the red chin there, pearl belly, and a little chartreuse top. So 0 to 3 feet, spinning setup, little bomber Model A crappie bait there. Here is the new, this is a new one, I didn't get this from my dad. This is the OG Slim 6 from Rapala, and that's a custom paint job. So I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see. The painter calls that shift shad. So It goes from chartreuse to a greenish gray top to purple. It's a shifting paint, you know, kind of like a chameleon paint job you see on those crazy cars, but just you know, something that's going to catch the eye of the fish. Real bright color, and it's got that shift in the sunlight, so kind of murkier water, but still finesse. Balsa bait, no rattles, obviously, and you know, just a new bait. People swear by it, so I'm excited. I got a few of them. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you've seen some of the other posts I've done about these. I've probably got close to 10 of these now, and they're getting kind of hard to get, but Rapala will put out more. They always do. They always carry a good amount of their products, and then again, that's more of a pearl shad. Again, it's got that shift paint scheme from green to purple. Real awesome job there. Same thing, Rapala OG6 Slim. This one I'm really excited about. So Norman Lures middle in. This is real. This paint job is old school. You can see even the bill is like stained yellow just because of how long this had been in the package. These were obviously made with different plastic back then. They always have a little bit different sound than the new ones. And this is one of my favorite, most underrated baits that I own. So I was excited to grab that, especially in that color. You could even see how nothing was really perfect back then. This was all like, you know, hand painted. I'm sure they had stencils, but obviously you can see the paint. These dots go way farther down the body compared to on this side. So it's just something that it's, you know, those imperfections that made a lot of those older baits as good as they are. So nice little, you know, 7 to 9 foot diver. I always write the dive depths on the bellies and usually on the bills as well. So excited for that. Good little pre-spawn bait there. Thin fin, Storm Thin Fin. This is one of the originals, one of the ones that go for a lot on eBay and things like that. Guys are looking for them. This is probably my dad's, I'd say, top 5 favorite lure of all time for sure. He has a billion of these things. So real light, they cast terrible, but they catch fish and they're proven bait. So I was excited to grab that. He probably wasn't excited I grabbed it, but he owns a million of them. This is just a Rebel Super Pop R. Nothing too crazy old. I mean, this is like an early 2000s bait. So it's got that real thick bucktail. I'm probably going to cut that a little bit. But, you know, just a good profile. I like the size of it. Not too big, not too small. It's got that kind of a mirror finish on the inside, which I really like. It gets that good flash, and I really like the color. That's honestly why I grabbed it. This is a Bagley Db3 Chatter, which I'm starting to realize a lot of the Db3 Chatters have been buying these lately. They don't chatter. So they're supposed to, this is a balsa bait, they're supposed to have a rattle that's on the inside of these balsa baits, and they were kind of one of the first balsa baits to ever put a rattle inside of them. Well, when these things sit in the packages for as long as they did, this is a really old lure. I've noticed that the rattle goes away. I don't know if it's obviously stuck in there and it's not moving. Maybe over time, the more you throw this, maybe it'll kind of knock that rattle loose. But I have some where the rattle does, you can hear the rattle and it's pretty loud. I may have one in here actually, and some that you don't. This is one of those that you don't. The reason why I grabbed this one, it's a really rare color. That gold foil really flashes well in that dirty water, especially if you've got that sun on, or that sun going up above you. And that's not a color that Bagley really made. So that gets down to 14 to 16 foot special edition color. Had to have it. Here, this is a Magnum wiggle wart, old school original wiggle warts, and this is the Magnum. So good little crawdad color. This thing gets down, it says 15 to 24 feet. I wrote 15 to 22. I'll throw that on 10-pound line. I can get that pretty deep, but just a supersized wiggle wart. Very loud, probably got some pretty good action as the original wiggle warts did with the split molds. So take a good look at it. It's going to go deep. Got 2 of them. He had a few of them, so grabbed colors that he had a few of. And that's your typical black back, chrome body, same bait. I'm interested to throw it. We'll see what happens. All right, here is another DB3 Chatter. This the Chatter B is what they're called. I think this one might actually work. So there you go. Nothing crazy loud, but it is a balsa bait with a rattle. So these two baits are the exact same. And this one's supposed to rattle, and this one's supposed to rattle. So for whatever reason, I don't know why, but I have a few of them. The majority of mine don't rattle, even though they're supposed to. And again, these are really old. You know, I can't remember exactly what time frame, but they're pretty old. So it's not, you know, too crazy to think that the rattles get stuck inside there. Like I said, nothing was perfect. But be excited to throw it. I really do like that color. Nice pre-spawn color there. Here's an old bomber. I grabbed it because if you look at that thing, look at how tore up that bait is. There's teeth marks everywhere. You've got that butyrate plastic showing through, that real cream colored plastic right there. That's the good stuff. That's the stuff you want in crankbaits. And then you've just, the lip is just filed from grinding rocks. And so if I ever see a lure like that and my dad didn't bring it with him to Florida and he ain't using it, I'm going to use it, because he obviously threw that a lot. And if you're throwing a bait that much, it looks that tore up, it's because it catches fish. So just an older bomber, green olive crawdad color, and a little 3 to 6 footer. But obviously that thing's got some juice, so I grabbed it. All right, here's a little XPS, and again, another little Bass Pro Shops bait. Not crazy old. This was from the 2000s time frame. And just a little minnow, small, you know, have to throw it on spinning setup, kind of like your shad wrap type of baits. But, you know, when they're busting on small minnows and stuff, you can get this down to 6 to 8 feet. And just really, really nice little bait. I like the color, finessey. And, you know, I'm not sure if Bass Pro Shops makes them anymore or not. I haven't gone and checked. I don't really shop there for baits, but something I wanted to try. This guy looks new. Just look how weird that bill is. You've got the bill underneath the face, underneath the point of the nose. So this is actually a owner crankbait. So obviously owner is known for their hooks, but this is an owner crankbait. I had never even heard of an owner crankbait before, but the bill is obviously interesting. It's kind of like a Norman, but what I thought was really weird is how it comes from underneath the bait, almost on like the chest. So made by owner. I've never ever heard of this. It's a flat side. It dives 7 feet. It's got some rattle to it. So just an interesting bait. Flat side again. You know, great little shad profile, tight wiggle, and it's going to give some flash with that gold and chrome with the orange belly. So why not try it? I've never heard of owner having or making crankbaits. So if they don't make crankbaits anymore, it probably wasn't too good, but you never know. It's definitely something not a lot of people are going to throw. Here's a little Strike King. This is, I think it's the 4 series. You know, these aren't old, but actually these are older than you would think, because there is a trick to tell the old Strike Kings from the new Strike King baits, and it has to do with the logo, but that'll be for another video. So this was one of the old logo Strike King baits, which means it is older than you think. This was probably when they had the Series 4, Series 3, Series 5, all those had just come out. So grab that one, 10 to 12 footer, nothing too special. This is their little Series 3, maybe even Series 2, little 8 footer, real small. Oh, that's their silent version, that's right, that's why I grabbed it. Real small little 8 footer. And just real finessey little crankbait. I like that a lot. That's really small body too. So something that's going to get bit when the fishing gets tough. And then here's another one. This is the Series 4 again, I believe. But that again is the silent version. So I got one with rattles and one that's silent. Nothing too special with those. They are the older Strike Kings. And for those of you that know about that type of stuff, different plastic. And it's going to little bit different action, different density. It gets real nerdy, but those are for other videos. Maybe I'll do one day. This is a really old bomber Model A, really old. I haven't seen this color. You can just tell by the fading. Again, the color of the bill has been stained yellow. It's been so old. This was just one I saw and it was like, man, that thing has that thing's seen a thing or two. This was not in the package, so this has been fished. It's got that one knocker. All right, next up, a Bagley. This is a DB2, little deep diving Bagley. Goes 10 to 15 feet. I really like the color. It was a special edition color they did for Bass Pro Shops back in the day. That's what I found out about my dad, or that's what I found out from my dad. That's what he told me. Just a nice copper crawdad color that I'd never seen before. So no rattles, perfectly silent. Little Bagley balsa bait there, good for pre-spawn. Storm chug bug, old school topwater bait. I don't own one. This is one of the originals, the rattle and chug bug, not the newer version. So something I wanted to try. Insanely loud, got the cupped face, walk it, pop it. Just one of those baits that you know is gonna get bit. But I don't have one, so now I do. All right, trying to speed this up, guys. Norman Lipless Bait. A lot of people don't know that Norman makes a lipless bait. They do. Well, they did. And I have a few of them, and they do get bit. I burn them real fast. Good little spring crawdad color there, but as you can see, pretty darn old. Some of these, like I said, I haven't taken them out of the box yet for whatever reason. I will here soon to put them in my tackle boxes. Cotton Cordell suspending spot. My dad has a billion of these. It's one of his favorite lures of all time. This is a straight fish catcher. It is old school, and that is an awesome color. So had to have that one. This right here, you want to talk about old school. This is a Norman Moss Walker. And let's see, or a Norman Weed Walker, my bad. This is the Weed Walker #1, so that's the original version. That thing goes, watch this. See this blade right here? This thing rips kind of like a prop bait or a, what do you call them? The stupid whopper ploppers. So it's weedless. It's got the little weedless barbs here. The hook goes up above. This kind of planes it out. And it just, you rip it across the water, you fast retrieve it across the water, it makes a lot of commotion, and it can go right on top of weed mats, right through weeds. An old school bait made by Norman Lures, and I'm gonna fish with it. I know that will catch fish. I know that'll catch fish. That's gonna slay. So I'm gonna do a video fishing, like I said, old school baits, and that's gonna be there this summer. And I'm gonna catch some fish on it. Now here is the Weed Walker 2. So I haven't really looked into the difference of why they made the Weed Walker 2 compared to the Weed Walker 1. This one is smaller. The base of it is obviously skinnier. And in my opinion, I don't like it as much because they narrowed the width of the freedom of the blade to spin. So listen to this one. This is the original. That thing spins for days. Now listen to the #2. Doesn't spin nearly as freely as the other one does. So maybe it's because my dad didn't fish with it as much, and it needs to loosen up a little bit. I'll find out. Stick it out a truck window, get that thing spinning, kind of break it in a little bit. But smaller, a little bit more finessey. Finessey's a word, by the way, I just made it up. A little bit more narrow profile, smaller profile than the Weed Walker #1. So that's the Weed Walker #2. Buzzbaits, the original lunker lure. For those of you that don't know, this was the buzzbait that put buzzbaits on the map. And that could be another topic for another day. Again, old school. I love how they have the copper blade. You don't really see the copper blades anymore. So once I saw the copper blade with the copper tinsel mixed in with the white skirt, I switched it, put the copper on the bottom, gets a pretty good flash out of it on those high sunny days. Got to break in that blade, file the rivet, rust the rivet. A lot of tricks you can do, drill some holes, get some bubble trails. A lot of stuff you can do with the buzzbait. Maybe I'll make a video about that one day, some buzzbait tips and tricks that I have, that I've done, that I've learned over time. But one of the originals, this is now the second one that I own. Very, 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 very old buzzbait. This is a Blue Fox Roland Martin double-bladed buzzbait, 1/4 or maybe an 1/8 of an ounce. Very light, very finessey bait. I know this will slam. Watch this. Tons of little action out of those two. I narrowed it just a little bit so they clacked together. It was a little bit wider, so narrowed it, and now they clack together. Get a little extra noise. Got that flat head that you want in a buzzbait, and real light. I'm probably gonna have to throw that on a spinning setup, or I'm gonna have to put on a nice little dense trailer to get some more weight to cast this thing farther. But I'm excited to toss that. All right, guys. For now, I'm going to end the video here. This has gone pretty long, and I still have a pretty good size box of old school baits here and some awesome swim baits that I want to show you guys. I'm looking at the time on the GoPro right now. We've been going for long enough. So what I'll do is this will be video number 1 of 2 of this unboxing of my father's old school baits. So hopefully you guys appreciate, all these baits that I've shown you. Hopefully, you guys come back and watch video number 2. I appreciate those of you that watched this entire video. I apologize for it being long, but hopefully it's been worth your guys' watch and worth your guys' time. If you like what you see, hit that subscribe button. Throw me a thumbs up so this video gets seen more. According to the experts on social media, YouTube algorithms, scientist people, they say that the more likes you get, the more opportunities YouTube's going to put your video out there to get seen by other people. And if you guys hit that thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. Let me know, if any of you have any experiences with some of these old baits, or if you got any questions about anything, or just a story about your favorite old bait. Let me know in the comments, and this is the type of stuff that I really, really enjoy and I nerd out on, so I'll talk about this stuff with you guys as long as you'll let me. But again, I appreciate it. Make sure to come back. I'll show you guys a little sneak peek at what's going to be coming in video number 2. Again, this is video 1 of 2, and I hope to see you guys back for the next one. As always, I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you here soon.